Whether you're an online coach, course creator, or agency owner, creating organic content on social media can feel overwhelming and confusing. But with the constant rise of ad costs, it's a strategy you probably know you should be implementing, but you've probably just been avoiding it. But that ends today, because in this video, I'm sharing a simple content system that will help you get millions of views, build your email list, and bring in sales for your products and services all on autopilot and without paying for ads. And it's called the comment to DM system. And it's the exact strategy I used to gain over 300,000 followers across social media in just 7 months, while also generating over 6 figures in sales for my digital products and agency services. And basically, it works by following this simple 4-step strategy. So firstly, build a lead magnet. Secondly, set up an automated chatbot. Thirdly, create targeted content on social media to turn followers into email subscribers. And lastly, convert your email subscribers into paid customers. And I know some of that stuff sounds a bit techie and confusing, but trust me, it's actually not that hard to get set up. And later in the training, I'm not only going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process to implementing this strategy, but I'm also going to give you tools and templates for free so that you can start using this strategy by the end of today. So with that said, let's first cover building your lead magnet. And basically, this is where you give something valuable away for free in exchange for someone's email. And building your email list is so important for creators because at the end of the day, the audience and attention you have on social media is borrowed. And if these platforms were to disappear tomorrow, you'd be screwed. On top of that, all the content you're spending hours creating may not even be seen by your followers because we have to rely on an algorithm. So to take back control and actually own your audience, you need to convert your followers into email subscribers. This will protect you if any of these platforms were to disappear, and you'd still have a direct contact to your audience at any time. That said, some examples of lead magnets could be a free workshop, a template, a checklist, or a private community. With that said, a lead magnet that's crushing for my clients and myself is a free email course. And basically, this is when you send an email a day over a certain period of time, solving a specific problem for your target audience. So an example of this is my free course that breaks down the exact blueprint I use to build an online audience of over 300,000 followers in just 7 months. So this course consists of both video and text modules, and I have an email course that runs alongside it. And this is completely free, and the feedback has been crazy for this. That said, I've left a link in the description below to this free course if you want to check it out for yourself. But now, once you've created your lead magnet, it's now time to move on to step number 2, which is setting up your automated chatbot. And I know this may sound technical, but trust me, it's a lot easier than it sounds. And in the description below this video, I actually have some free plug and play automation templates that you can download to speed up this process. But before we dive into that, let's first cover how these automations even work. So basically, you can create and connect chatbots to your Facebook or Instagram accounts using a software called ManyChat. And once set up, you can ask your audience to send you a keyword, which will then trigger an automated conversation in the DMs. And these automated conversations can be set up to collect emails, showcase your products, and drive more sales for your business on autopilot. But on top of that, since people are engaging with your posts, this helps trigger the algorithm to push your content out to more people, which then increases the chances of your videos going viral. And this is the exact strategy I used for my client Liz, who went from 400 followers to over 10,000 in just 6 days. So for example, as we can see for this video, which has over 1 million views, she was able to get over 15,000 people to comment a keyword on the post, which not only helped her collect thousands of emails for free, but it also helped boost this video into the algorithm. But now, another great thing about these DM automations is that you can optimize them for whatever goals you're going after. So for example, a few months ago, I wanted to make a real push to grow my YouTube account. So instead of collecting more emails with my automations, I set up the conversations to send people from my Instagram to my YouTube channel. And this one strategy helped me gain over 3,000 subscribers for my YouTube in just a few weeks. So the possibilities are endless with these automations, and it really comes down to what you're optimizing for. With that being said, later in this training, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look at some of my automation funnels, and I'll also be sharing the exact funnel templates so that you can easily plug and play them into your accounts. But now that we know how these chatbots work, let's cover how to set them up to start building your email list and making sales for your digital products on autopilot. So firstly, the two key softwares you're going to need for this is ManyChat and some type of email marketing CRM. And there are hundreds of different email marketing softwares out there, so it really comes down to what your needs and budget are. But here's a list of some of my go-to platforms. That said, ManyChat is a software that connects directly to your Instagram, and it's here where you'll be setting up the automated conversations. And a great thing about ManyChat is that they give you your first 1,000 conversations for free, which allows you to test it out and ensure you like it before investing into a pro plan. But now, if we jump into my ManyChat account, I want to break down the funnel that I'm currently using to collect emails on autopilot. Okay, so this is a new funnel that I just launched yesterday, and here we can see a bird's eye view of the funnel. And I know it can look a little bit intimidating, but it's actually not that intense. And again, in the description below, you can download this exact automation so you can easily just plug and play it into your ManyChat account. But firstly, I've set it up so that if anyone comments, DMs, or replies to my stories with these keywords, then the automation will begin. And once someone sends me the keyword, the first message they're gonna receive is this. So excited for you to get free access to the Digital Creator Blueprint. Is it cool if I send over some more details? And here's a button for them to click. If they click this button, they'll be sent a sequence of messages that consists of a graphic showcasing what they're gonna receive. So in my case, it's a free email course, and then they're gonna get a short description of what it is, and then a prompt to enter their email to get free access to it. Now from here, it can either go two ways. So firstly, if they do type in their email, they will then be added to my email marketing software automatically, and then an email will instantly be sent with access to the free course. I also send a link in the DMs for the people who want to start the free course right away. But now if they don't send me their email, the chatbot will follow up with them in a few hours with this message, which basically just prompts them again to send over their email. From here, if they give me their email, they'll then be added to my email marketing software, and then an email will be sent with access to the guide. That said, if they still don't send over their email, then the automation is just gonna end. But now for those that did send me their emails, I've also set up an automated follow-up a few hours later that sends them a link to a YouTube video that is related to my free guide. This allows me to provide even more value to the people who are engaging with me, and this also helps grow my YouTube channel on autopilot. But now that's it for the ManyChat side of things, and as you can see, it's a pretty simple automation, but it produces crazy results. And later in this video, I'll break down the automated email sequence I've set up that is converting these new subscribers into customers for my digital products and courses. But before that, we now need to cover step 3 in the process, which is generating traffic to our chatbot. And how we're going to do this is by creating organic content on Instagram, and specifically educational content that is related to our digital products. So for example, this could be how-tos, top tips, client case studies, and etc. And when it comes to content ideas, I personally like to take key topics from my free course and condense them down into 1-minute educational reels. And within these reels, I ask my viewers to send me a keyword to get access to a free training that dives deeper into this topic. And by doing it this way, where you first create the lead magnet and then use the information from your freebie for your social media content, it allows you to create a content flywheel where you can reuse content in multiple different ways. And as a creator, it's always better to work smarter rather than harder. That said, some pro tips to increase the number of engagements with your chatbots is firstly adding a mid-roll CTA. And basically, a mid-roll CTA is just how it sounds. It's where you move the call to action, which is generally placed at the end of the video, and you bring it into the middle of your video instead. And the reason this is so powerful is because the reality is not everyone is going to consume your content to the end. And this means not everyone will get a chance to see your CTA. So by moving it closer to the start of your video, you're increasing the chances of people seeing this CTA, which then increases the amount of engagements with your chatbot, which then leads to more email subscribers. And a tip to seamlessly include these mid-roll CTAs is by creating a video that consists of 3 tips and then positioning your lead magnet to tip number 1. This will then allow you to easily add a call to action after your first tip without breaking the flow of the content. So for for example, let's say my lead magnet was a checklist that shared the best settings to use to capture high quality videos with your iPhone. I could create an Instagram reel based around the top 3 tips to shoot better content with your iPhone. So in this video, I could break it down so that tip number 1 is video settings, tip number 2 is lighting, and tip number 3 is using a microphone for clearer audio. So in this situation, my script could be something like, alright, so tip number 1 is to set your phone to 4K 30 frames per second for the highest quality videos and smoothest playback on social media. That said, if you want a free checklist that covers 5 more iPhone video settings, comment settings below and I'll send it over. But now moving on to tip number 2, and that is lighting. So that's an example of the mid-roll CTA, and you can do this strategy for both reels and carousels so you can get creative with it. Another hack to get more engagement with your chatbot is by putting the call to action as the first words in your caption. Because when people are watching your content, they're going to see the first few words of your caption. So having your keyword trigger here, this will help increase the chances of people actually engaging. Another strategy is using your Instagram stories to capture leads. And to do this, you can create story graphics to help sneak peek your freebies, and you can prompt your viewers to reply to the story to get access. You can also create interactive stories by adding polls of common pain points your target audience is struggling with, and then after they've engaged with 3 to 4 stories, you can hit them with a CTA to trigger your chatbot. And if you don't have a background in graphic design, you can use a free website like Canva to create professionally made graphics in seconds. That said, some additional tips when it comes to creating viral educational content are the following. So tip number 1 is to dumb it down. So a common mistake I see all the time is educators thinking they need to sound super smart when teaching something. Because the reality is this just leads to confusion and a poor performing video. So when you're scripting out your content, you want to cut out all the big fancy words and try to stick to one general idea per video. And a free tool that I use to dumb down my words is the Hemingway editor. And basically all you need to do is copy and paste your scripts into this website, and then your script will be graded on its readability. And personally, for my content, I like to aim for a grade 6 readability. Now tip number 2 is covering broader topics. So the basic concept here is that whatever niche you're in, you can either create super specific content or broader content. So for example, if you're in the fitness niche, you could create content that's really specific like weight loss for over 50s, or you could create broader content like bodyweight exercises that anyone can do at home. And even though I teach my students to create content that's specific, I also recommend tapping into broader topics within your niche because these will help you get exponential growth. So an example of this is this video here, which is currently sitting at 2.7 million views. And this video is my top 3 tips to taking better photos with your iPhone. And the great thing about this video is that it was still within my previous niche of photography, but since I'm teaching people how to take better photos with your iPhone, it can connect with a wider audience. Because at the end of the day, more people own iPhones than they do professional cameras. But now moving on to tip number 3, and that is simplify, simplify, simplify. And basically, this is where you need to remember that you only have around 1 minute to get your information across. And as you're probably aware, it's almost impossible to teach a topic from A to Z in just 60 seconds. So with that being said, you need to simplify the information and just deliver the core message. You want to think of your Instagram Reels as the top of the funnel, where you want to provide as much value as possible, but you still want to make your viewers feel like they need to consume more of your content to get the full picture. This simplification will also ensure you're keeping your videos as concise as possible. And I personally try to keep my educational styled reels to a maximum of 40 to 50 seconds. Because from my personal testing, the shorter the video was, the better it performed. But now tip number 4 is to show and tell. So this tip is a bit more tactical in terms of how you shoot and edit your reels, but basically you want to ensure you're adding B-roll that's showing what you're talking about. So for example, if you're a barber and you're teaching how to cut a specific haircut, instead of just telling your viewer how to do it, you want to add B-roll scenes over your talking points where you're actually showing how to cut the hair and the final result. Because we need to remember that over 65% of the population are visual learners. So by actually showing what you're talking about, this will help your viewer process the information even clearer. Also, adding B-roll will help engage your viewers, which will then lead to longer video watch times, and this will help trigger the algorithms to push out your content to even more people. But now moving on to tip number 5, and that is to stop providing advice and instead provide actionable advice. So for example, if you're a fitness coach and you're creating content to help people build muscle, instead of saying lift weights and eat more protein, You want to say something like lift 5 times a week and eat 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. Another example is if you're a social media growth coach, instead of saying post more reels to grow your account, you want to say something like post 3 educational reels and 2 carousels per week to grow your account. So basically, you want to be more specific on the exact steps your viewers should take so that they have a roadmap to follow. And by providing actionable advice like this, it'll be a lot easier for you to stand out as an authority within your niche because most educators are only providing advice. Alright, so now that we have our lead magnet and chatbot set up, and we now understand how to create content that turns social media scrollers into email subscribers, we can now move into the last step of this process, and that is turning our email subscribers into paying customers. And a lot of the trust building and selling should be happening through your lead magnet. Because if your freebie solves a problem that your target audience is actually struggling with, they're going to be much more primed to invest into your digital products. So for example, if we move over to my email marketing software, here we can see what is happening on the email side of things after someone gives me their email through my chatbot. So firstly, they'll automatically be put through this email sequence, which consists of 7 value-packed emails teaching a specific topic that is covered in my free course. After a week of emails, they'll be then prompted to purchase my Consistent Creator template, which is the exact content system I use to gain over 300,000 followers in just 7 months. And after they purchase, I then ask for a testimonial about my free course. And for the people who don't purchase during this 9-day email sequence, they'll then be added to another email sequence that then sends an email a day for the next 7 days that dives deep into even more topics that help them create better converting content and showcases some of the results my clients and past students have received from joining my programs. And even if they don't purchase after going through these initial email sequences, it's totally fine because I now have their email and I can continue to nurture them by sending out valuable resources and offering exclusive deals and offers in the future. Something I want you to remember during this whole process is that some people take a lot longer to convert, especially if your product is more high ticket. So as long as you stay consistent, continue to show up and provide value, most people are gonna come around in the end. But now, if you're ready to keep building on what we've covered in this video, click here to learn the exact steps to create viral content online so that you can start building your audience and growing your business.